Dude, out of so many ideas that I can do, right? Video wise or content wise, the one thing that just came to my mind is detaching from the outcome. I was literally gonna write down on that piece of paper, right? But I'm just gonna go by the basis of the topic of the video, right? Why did I wanted to do a detachment from the outcome, right? I feel like if you're in the sales perspective, right, not a relationship perspective, but if you are in a sales call or if you're with a customer in person, right, this is pretty much like, just detaching from the outcome. There's been times where I really like, I don't want to sell anything and I end up selling it by accident. I know, as weird as it sounds, it happens, Sometimes, depending on how you're feeling that day, how your attitude is that day, right? Especially talking from a sales perspective, I mean, you know what I'm talking about if you're in that field, whichever sales, right? But I'm just basing it on in the car business, right? I do sell cars. I'm still a car salesman, right? No issue at all. Love it. But there's been times where I try to actually get the person to buy the car, and just by looking and just by the vibe, right, the energy is just a little bit off. Sometimes you just know they're not going to buy, but you're still trying to pursue it, right, trying to see how you can put a deal together, asking the questions, right, and then you might mess up something and they don't buy anything, right? But it's really all on you, right? There's been a couple of times, if not plenty of times, where I really don't want to talk to the customer or the client, right? I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm just going on by my day, right? Just going through the motions, and I happen to, set up an appointment or set up a visit, or just, help a customer that is just walking the lot. And, it just happens for me to, just, I'm not really, I do care, but I'm not really like engaging at all, right? It's just that the outcome is not there. I'm not attached to the outcome of, selling the car. You know, that's not in my head. I'm just thinking of, oh my God, bro, like these people are, like, you know, they're just here, and you just attach from the outcome, right? Sometimes it may become as a negative, right? Wow, I am sweating. Jeez. I turned off the fans because they're pretty loud. But anyways, right? Detaching from the outcome for the most part, right, on anything, it really works wonders. I mean, I know there's people here watching this video where you're trying, it's not like being needy, right? Not you can type, you can kind of say it like that, like a little needy, right? In that perspective, right? If I'm like asking for the sale, right? Well, not asking for the sale, but if I'm pursuing it and I'm desperate, right? And the client does feel that, right? Or even with like a girl, right? Let's just say, for example, the vibe, right? It's just that it's off. It's just you give off like really desperate vibes. Imagine if you're pushing, the customer, or somehow they don't buy because of that. I mean, that's how you end up, detaching from the outcome, right? That's the whole thing for this video, right? Obviously, it does work wonders. Trying to detach from the outcome of whatever you're trying to achieve. I'm just basing it on, the example of, me being in the car business, for example, because happened plenty of times. Now, I do want to hear your opinion on this. Um, I want to hear some people here that actually sell cars, and I want to hear your experience on detaching from the outcome, right? When you don't really care, you don't care if they buy, you don't care if they don't, you don't care if they buy, if they don't buy. I want to hear it, right? Because it's true what they say, right? Obviously, you gotta still help them out, but you're just neutral. You just catching the vibe with them, seeing where they at, you know. And so I do want to hear that. I know I'm sweating like a pig right now. Jeez, that's disgusting. But yeah, let's see.